Welcome everybody to the Monday night entrepreneurial call that we put on every Monday. And tonight, it's my utmost pleasure to not only introduce someone who is a leader in their field and across many fields, in fact, what she does, but also someone who's come through the coaching ranks alongside me and someone that I call friend. And she's a dear friend, and we often have the hashtag friends for life. And I'm just so blessed to have Bernice on the call today. She's in high demand, and for good reason. She helps women break through their barriers to allow themselves to live a masterpiece life. She's a master NLP coach, a timeline therapy coach, and master hypnotist as well. She's created the most amazing, and they have to be experienced to understand just how amazing her retreats are. They are like elite, next level, like you'd expect to pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars to attend these things. I can just gaga about them all day. The funny thing is, 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, Bernice and I were sitting in an NLP training room, and we were sitting there with many other future coaches. And I think in the industry today, a lot of people think that you can do a 5-day course, do a banner on Canva, and you've got $1 million coaching business. And I think Bernice's story tonight, I'm not sure what part of it she's going to share, because there's just many breakthroughs Bernice has had in her career to get to where she is. But I think she can honestly attest and back me up on this, that it is a little bit harder than that. There is a business behind it. And to say that myself and many other coaches I know and people at Bernice's level have been punched in the face by the market but had to be very tenacious to keep going would be an understatement. And I think if I could pick one thing that I admire most about Bernice, it's her resilience, and I'm going to call another one out, her tenacity. There's one thing that everyone agrees on that knows Bernice, is she's got those things and a never give up attitude. And I've seen her continue long after the average person would have given up. So I hope that gives you some idea of just how lucky we are to have this international renowned branding, coaching, women's leader on this call tonight. And Bernice, just take yourself off mute and take it away. The floor's yours.
Well, thank you so much, Joel. I feel very honoured to be invited on the call, and I also consider you a very good friend. And I'm not sure how many of you are on the entrepreneurial journey, or if you're just on a health journey, but whatever journey you're on, you want to have good friends and a good peer group of like-minded people who support you and empower you and encourage you and believe in you. And Joel's definitely been a person who has been there for me during the tough times at times, and really supported me so much. So I'm always feeling so grateful and blessed for his friendship as well. So Joel introduced me already, but basically I call myself a business breakthrough coach, and I work with heart-centered entrepreneurial women who want to make a positive impact in the world. And I use my skills like the NLP and all these things that I've been trained in to help them break through the fears and limiting beliefs that are preventing them from getting out and sharing their message and being visible and building a personal brand. So Joel really wanted me to share my story to start off with tonight, which I have two stories really. And Joel, feel free to ask me certain questions about, I guess I don't share a lot about the entrepreneurial journey one. So feel free to ask me questions if there's certain things, because what point you want to get across. But so I started off with a health journey. So basically I spent most of my 20s in quite a, dark place, and I gained a lot of weight. I had terrible habits. I really did not care for myself or love myself. And I, would drink every night and binge drink on the weekends. And I had terrible eating habits, like every day I would just be eating McDonald's or Red Rooster or any of those sort of chain foods and processed foods. So I had a terrible diet, and I really struggled with a lot of anxiety and depression, and had very low self-worth, which, unbeknownst to me at the time, stemmed from, a lot of experiences that I'd had in my past. But when I was in my 20s, I lived very heavily at effect. So I was a real victim of my circumstances, and I thought that everything was just happening to me and I didn't have any control over anything. So I ended up in, a pretty bad place, and I gained a lot of weight. And I think by the time I was 28, I was 107 kilos. And I didn't really think that there was much point to my life anymore, because things just progressively got worse. It didn't matter how many times I tried to make changes or go on a diet. Like, I ended up in this place of what's called learned helplessness. So when you continually, fail at something, then after a while you just start to believe that you're helpless. And I also thought I had an excuse for that as well, because of experiences I'd had in my past. I thought, well, of course, I had friends that would say, well, poor Bernice, of course her life's not going to, end up that great, because, and they help support those beliefs as well. So when I hit 28, I actually got pregnant with my daughter Pollyanna, and who is 6 now, and that gave me the driving force to want to change. So people don't change unless they hit enough pain or they have enough desire. And so I had this mixture of both. I'd hit a lot of pain. I was very depressed. I was really ashamed of myself, had really so low self-worth, I could barely leave the house. And so I'd hit this, big pain. And then I had my daughter, and I didn't have a mother growing up. She left when I was 7. So that's why I felt especially like this big desire within me to want to be a good mum, and that led me to wanting to start making changes in my health. So I had tried everything before and nothing ever worked, and I did not believe in anything. But then I obviously had this desire now, and I went looking for answers, and I found this documentary. The first one I ever watched was called Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead by Joe Cross. And I just was fascinated by this man doing the juicing, and it made me interested in what is all this plant-based lifestyle stuff about. So to cut a long story short, I went searching for more answers, watched more documentaries, and I started educating myself. So instead of watching TV, I would listen to audio books, and started to improve my mindset. So on this health journey, I completely transformed my lifestyle, and went from someone who drank alcohol and had all these terrible health habits to switching to a whole foods lifestyle. And I was into personal development and improved my mindset, and I ended up losing 40 kilos. And I did all sorts of things that, now it seems easy to say, but back then when I was in that place was really difficult to change my habits, and to, go from this person who was drinking and smoking and eating junk food all the time, to bring myself out of that, and to switch to a whole foods lifestyle. So then, I had this big transformation, and I lost all this weight, and then that led me to really wanting to help other people. I thought, I feel so good about myself, and I've lost all this weight, and I just had this passion and enthusiasm to want to help other people do the same. So I was actually driving to work one day. Now, I used to work in retail fashion, and I always knew within me that I had more potential and that I could be doing something more with my life, but I really struggled to believe that. something more was possible for me. I was always happy for other people around me and encouraging them and believed in them, but I really struggled to believe in myself and that, you know, I could really do anything big with my life, even though part of me felt like I had the potential to do something more. So I was working at Jeanswest earning $18 an hour, because that was a reflection of, you know, what I believed I was worth or what I could do. And I was driving to Jeanswest one day and I was listening to a Brian Tracy audiobook, and just coincidentally, I'm thinking to myself, am I really going to work at Jeanswest for the rest of my life? And I'm thinking, I've changed all of my habits. I've completely transformed my life. You know, maybe I could do the same, you know, in terms of, you know, my career or where I'm going. You know, maybe I could set goals in that area. And I'm sort of thinking to myself, what am I going to do? And coincidentally, right at the same time, Brian Tracy starts talking about that very subject in an audiobook. And he said, you know, the things that you really enjoy doing are usually a really great indicator of what you should be doing with your life and what your, you know, gifts are and purpose. And he said, but I want you to get imagine you've got a magic wand, and imagine with this magic wand you can be, do, have, and create whatever you want for your life. That anything would be possible, and that imagine that you'd have absolutely nothing holding you back, so that you had enough time, enough resources, enough money. So all of these excuses that you would usually come up with when you think of doing something big, when you ask that question, it allows you to expand your mind and think, well, hang on, what if I didn't have anything holding me back? What if I had no excuses? And I thought to myself, I would love to do, you know, help people do what I've done. And then I went into work and I couldn't stop thinking about it all day. And then I got home, and all of a sudden in my Facebook news feed, there was like an online marketing and branding course to help people become a coach and start an online business. And I'd never invested in myself before, but I just felt really called to it, and I invested in that. And from there, I went on to do Tony Robbins Mastery University, and I've gone back years in a row to the Tony events, and I, you know, did all my NLP training and go back frequently to assisted NLP training. So I became really obsessed with wanting to grow and to add more value to others. And I started my own coaching business, and I think it was back in 2016 in September. I took the leap and left my 9-to-5, and really not knowing what the hell I was doing. Like, I did not know anything about business, you know. So, but I believed I could do it. And so I quit my 9-to-5 at Jeanswest. And of course, all my family thought I was crazy. The girls at Jeanswest were like, oh God, what is she doing? My friends from high school, they just were like, she's lost it. So I really, and it's funny talking about it now, but back then that was really hard. You know, my whole world, all of the people I was used to supporting me didn't support me anymore. And I felt really rejected. And you know, I was always someone who really wanted to be liked and had a fear of rejection. So it was really difficult, but it's like my why was so much bigger than the neediness to, you know, stay friends with people that might hold me back or to care what others think. So, you know, I just went for it, and I started this business. And so I started with doing the one-on-one coaching, and I was doing the wellness first and helping a lot of women transform their health and lose a lot of weight. And then that led those women to come to me and say, Bernice, oh, I feel really good now too. How do I start a coaching business? How do I do what you're doing? And then I think, this leads me to Joel and I were sitting at a NLP training. We're assisting, must have been in about this time, 2017. And I knew I had to do something bigger. Like, I knew I was holding myself back I was fearful of doing all the speaking stuff and getting out and, taking things to the next level. And remembering that I came from earning $18 an hour, and then I was just signing up one-on-one coaching clients and sort of, getting a consistent income from there. But then I literally said to Joel at this thing, you know what, I'm going to launch a retreat. I've never done a retreat before. I don't know, but I want to do a retreat. I have all these ideas, and I had all these ideas of doing this retreat that had branding shoots. And, I just listened to the needs of the ladies who I was working with, and decided to launch this retreat. It's a high ticket retreat, and it was like one of the greatest accomplishments back then, because all I did was jump on a Facebook Live and announce this retreat. And it was like all these women must have been waiting for a retreat. Like, I had never done a retreat before. And I announced this retreat, and I think I sold 6 spots within like 24 hours and made like $30,000, and which was like what I would earn in a year at Jeanswest, and I earn it in 24 hours. So that was a pretty huge thing. And then I went on to sell out that retreat to, having, we had 13 ladies, and Vicky was one of them. And then went on to do many more retreats where even people flew over from the USA. And yeah, I haven't thought about this in a while. So, okay, so Penny is asking, who was your first coaching client? Well, funnily enough, it was, maybe Vicky wasn't the first, but Vicky was one of my clients in the beginning. Maybe, I think, Vicky and Charlotte Blake were like my first clients, I think. So back in the day. And thanks, Vicky. So yes, I went on to doing the retreats, and then now I have online programs, and I think last year I worked with over 100 heart-centered entrepreneurial women, like life coaches, health coaches, and network marketers. And I help them with building their personal brands and with their mindset and all of those sort of things. So what is it specifically else do you want to know, Joel, about or want me to talk about with the entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, wow. Well, before I go any further, does anyone else have a question that they'd like to ask Bernice? Because, I've got a list of questions, so it's fine. So, okay, well, I will. Sometimes I get shy until I turn the recording off, okay? Then they will become talkative. Okay, so Bernice, do you have more to go on with, or do you want me to start hitting you with questions?
Yeah, ask me questions. I guess I get the idea of my story and where I am now. But you can ask me questions that will help them know more, if you like.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so how do you stay focused on a daily basis?
How do I stay focused? Well, with certain daily rituals. So it's not what we do once in a while that makes a difference. It's what we do consistently. So if you want to show up consistently, you want to have consistent daily rituals that you stick to. So staying focused, I have a daily visualization technique. So I recommend everyone be clear on your goals and vision always, because if you're aiming at nothing, you'll hit every time. So you want to be super clear on what it is that you are aiming at and what your goals and vision are, short term and long term. And then have a daily visualization technique that you get in touch with your vision every day and write your goals daily so that you stay focused, and every day you're being reminded of what you're working towards and having that spark of excitement. So the specific one I use is called idealizing, and so I basically get a pen and paper every morning and I just write down future paced. It is now, 12 months time, and I put the date and I say, like the last 12 months have been incredible, like that. I talk about everything as though it's already happened. So maybe I have an event in 3 months that I'm going to. I'll start writing what it was like when I went to that event and what happened. So I'm very clear on my goals and my intentions for everything. And then every day I'm writing it as though it's already happened. And this is how you can go through the days and have obstacles come at you or things happen that a normal person might react, but for me, I just respond because it's like I have a sense of calm most times that everything has already worked out. So if you have this daily visualization, it's like writing your goals every day, but it's also suggesting that they've already happened, and you can kind of manifest it all into your reality.
Outstanding.
My favorite Brian Tracy book, look, there is one called Resilience that I really love. I can't just say one, like I love so many, but I would highly recommend, if you have children, Raising Super Kids is incredible. There's one called Resilience, one called Simplify Your Life that I really love, but The Miracle of Self-Discipline is also good. Look, just Brian Tracy, everything. The Science of Self-Confidence and The Universal Laws of Success and Achievement are really good as well.
Outstanding. So if we took Brian Tracy out of the picture, what 3 books do women need to read right now to get started?
Okay, so I would say, like, is this in terms of, okay, I'm going to say these ones are good for the health and, entrepreneurial journey as well. And these are the 3 books that I told the women in my Inner Circle program to read before anything else this year. So The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. So it's all about the science behind willpower and how you can get more of it. So you need to be able to understand willpower and be able to exercise willpower in terms of having good daily rituals, staying focused towards your goals, all of those sort of things. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. So it teaches you how habits work and how you can change your habits. So we always have certain habits that are not serving us, and so it's very good to know how you can change your own habits. And then I would also say High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard is a really incredible book as well. And if you can master your health and your daily rituals, that's going to help you to perform better in all areas of your life, So some people will go all in on their business and then later on end up with poor health, which sets them back. Or, and the thing that I find that when you're in good health, you then have more energy and vitality, which means you've got energy when you get home from a busy day to also give to your family as well. And you've got energy to give to your friends. So if you're not looking after your health, you coming home tired, and then, there's a quote you said once, Joel, that I love, like, your family should get the best of you, not what's left of you. So if you're really looking after yourself yourself and taking care of yourself, not only are you unconsciously giving others permission to do the same, everything, you guys have got to know, everything you are doing is setting an example for the people around you. And let that drive you every day to be better, to know people are watching what you do, and try and be the best that you can be so that you can set a good example to the people around you, and that they unconsciously know that they can become better too.
That was amazing. Does anyone that wants to ask a question, they can jump in. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rattling off questions, guys. So if you've got one, put your hand up, because I've got you on gallery view for a little second. All right. You snooze, you lose. Bernice, like, among all of your accomplishments, and when I ask a mum on this, they often or always say their kid, their child. But apart from Polly, out of all your accomplishments, which makes you most proud so far?
I think, like, what I would say, I don't know what is the thing that makes me most proud, but like, the first thing that came to me is, like, I feel like every day when I get you know, messages from women who I've helped, like saying that they've achieved one of their goals or thanking me for something, that is kind of what I live for. And that's what is like my evidence criteria that I am successful and accomplished, if that makes sense. And so maybe what I'm most proud of is my ability to persevere, because there has been lots of obstacles, and I am a single mum, for those of you who don't know. And there has been so many obstacles and so many hard times that, you know, I think most people, even men, would be like, this is too hard. Like, I cannot go on. Like, it would be much easier to go back to a 9-to-5. But I think maybe I feel so proud of myself that I know I've got to keep going to help others, and it's so important for me to show up no matter what. So, you know, the resilience and the perseverance is something I feel very proud of myself for.
Absolutely. That is one thing I can say. Like, I honestly said it in the beginning. I'll say it again. Like, your resilience and your ability to keep going is would be your calling card. Like, I swear you've got a picture of resilience in the dictionary. So perseverance and willpower. Yeah. Okay. So, like, taking a step every day, showing up every day with that resilience. Often people might attach that to some form of burnout. So how do you deal with burnout while keeping your eye on the prize?
Dealing with burnout while keeping your eye on the prize. Well, I guess like, what you've got to know is there's no such thing as failure, only results. So you might get burnt out on the journey, and you might sometimes feel like you failed, or you know, something like that. But what you've got to know is that that everything that happens is just something to learn from. And so over time on the journey, you get kind of better at managing yourself and making sure you don't burn out. So it's like I feel like everyone has to go through those times where they burn out to get the lessons to tell, you know, so you know, like, okay, maybe I'm overgiving, maybe I'm giving too much energy to other people and not enough to myself. So probably quitting the people pleasing, you know, you've got to be focused on your goals. So simplify your life and work out, you know, what it is that you're working towards and what is not moving you towards it. So you want to actually just bring it all to consciousness by probably the first time just writing down like the things that you're doing regularly. So when I'm working with clients, like they might tell me, oh, Bernice, I'm like helping this friend of mine and I'm spending like hours helping her move house and do all of these things and all of this kind of people pleasing stuff where they're, making other people's needs a priority and not their own. So that would be something I definitely let go of to avoid burnout, because you just end up feeling resentful anyway if you're putting all your time and energy into other people, and worrying about their needs all the time and not your own. So what is better is if you actually focus on being the very best you can, and then you're going to actually have more to give to everyone and to more people. Does that sort of answer your question?
Absolutely. That was amazing. This is like massively helpful. Thank you so much, Bernice.
Well, and I will say on the burnout thing too, look, the daily rituals is also really important. So making sure that you're eating healthy food and working out every day and yeah.
Sensational. Okay, so if you were starting out now, knowing what you know now, and there's some people that are very new to their businesses that are on tonight, what would be 3 things that you would do to start to build your momentum and to their new life, to get them towards their masterpiece life? What would you do?
Towards their masterpiece life. So first of all, get them clear on their purpose. And on their goals. It's hard when I'm thinking, am I talking to entrepreneurs or like, is this just someone in general, just starting a new life, starting a trend?
Everyone on this call is an entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. So if it's do you want me to answer it as though it's for entrepreneurs then?
Yeah. How would they start their business? Let's say they're working at Jeanswest and or a 9 to 5, and like what would you tell your younger self, or what would you do now if you were going to break free of that life and join the crazy ones? How do we join the crazy ones?
Yeah. So I would get clear on, know that the clarity does come from engagement, but get in touch with who you truly are and what your gifts are and what your message is. So as I spoke about before, that magic wand method, like I use that still when I have to get clarity on, the next steps. So that can help you find what your purpose is. So I feel like that, in general society, a lot of people are following and doing what everyone else is doing. And then I find, then people get into the personal development world or, network marketing, and the same can happen too, where everyone's sort of doing what everyone else is doing. And I think what is really important is to find who you truly are, because you can't get in alignment. And when you're in alignment, everything just flows, right? But you can't get in alignment if you're being who you're not, or you're being who you think you should be. So find who you truly are and get comfortable with being your authentic self, and find your authentic message, and don't get caught up in all the noise of what everyone else is doing. If you're going to personal development events and things like that, this is what I would recommend, is that you get really focused on who you are, what your vision is, and find what coaches and what events and what programs have you got to do that'll move you towards your goals, instead of sort of following the pack and just going to every event and soaking up so much information that you don't really take any action. Okay, so that's what I see all the time. I always took a lot of action, but, definitely, have felt that before, where you're just going to events to keep up with everyone. So, get clear on your goals and who you are. And what else would there be? So another one I'm trying to think for entrepreneurs. So be authentic. and get outside your comfort zone, because outside your comfort zone is where your potential lies. I definitely recommend that you be visible on social media. So if people don't know who you are or what you do, they can't buy from you, or they won't buy from you. They can't be inspired by you. So I think if you can get out of your head and into your heart and know what your why is and who the people are that you want to help, and use that, knowing that if you get out and be visible on social media and share your message, that, you're going to be inspiring and helping people and making a difference in the world.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. So if someone was at rock bottom,
Mm-hmm.
what is the first step you'd recommend to get them back on track to a purposeful life?
Rock bottom. Well, to get... probably say, like, get a coach or someone to guide you, really. I think if someone's at rock bottom, they are going to need help to get out of that place. So, get a coach, someone who has achieved what you want to achieve, then you would hire someone like that, I think.
Brilliant. So do you have a story where you realise what impact you've had on someone? Like, do you have a really, where you've just gone, wow? Like, do you have a wow story?
I have lots of wow stories. I'm trying to think, like, what would be one of the biggest...
Other than Vicky.
Well, I have looked, like, there was... like Charlotte, who lost a lot of weight and completely transformed her life. So back in the day, she was able to get out and be inspiring others very similarly to what I did. I've just worked with so many people now, and there is, like, lots of wow stories. There is... just trying to think who would be the most wow. There's obviously, Stanzi is out doing all these amazing retreats. And there's a lady in my Inner Circle program. And so I felt like she's a good wow story. So she came to me just towards the end of last year, and she just reached out on Facebook. I didn't know her. And she said, I'm struggling with my confidence. I really need your help. And then so I had a call with her, and it turned out that 2 years beforehand, she was, like, one of the top performers in her network marketing company, and she had something happen, and then she, lost all her confidence, and then went back to a 9-to-5, and had spent, the past 2 years feeling really low within herself and a lack of confidence and self-esteem. And she didn't come with me with the intention of starting a business or anything. She just wanted to get more confidence because she felt so low. So we did a breakthrough session. And so that's where, for those of you who don't know, it's like where, like a 10-hour session where I go through and find all the significant emotional events in someone's history, and then clear out all the negative emotions and limiting beliefs. Joel does this as well. And anyway, so we did this breakthrough session, and then she had so much confidence straight away that she got out and she then said, oh, well, would you be able to help me, like, start a coaching business and start my own brand? And she just got out and started doing Facebook Lives. And then within a couple of weeks, I'd launched my Inner Circle program, and she was like, well, if I've done this much, in just a month, then I want to join the Inner Circle program, because imagine what I could do in a year. And so she went from someone who had no business and no confidence within, I think it was about 6 weeks, she then started branding herself and doing Facebook Lives, sharing her message. And she's a manifestation coach, like helps people with manifesting. And she started a 4-week coaching program, and she signed up like 3 clients before Christmas. And then she's consistently been signing up clients, all year, and just doing amazing. And she's got like sales funnels up and running, and going to be like a big deal in terms of, the branding herself as a manifesting coach. So, yeah.
That's so cool. Congratulations to you and your amazing client. So how do you balance wanting to grow and achieve more with being grateful with the success that you've already had?
Balance what was it again? Say it again.
So how do you balance wanting to grow and achieve more with being grateful for the success you've already had?
Well, I think every day, I'm just trying to think the best way to answer this question. Like every day I am feeling like gratitude is part of my daily rituals, and so I'm always feeling grateful, daily. And I think that we go through stages on our journey where, we sort of can be like more significance driven. I think that a big learning for me was just really that we don't have to do everything overnight, that we can take it one step at a time and achieve it over time. I feel like, it's like anything, like a diet. If you try and do everything at once, it can get hard and you end up, wanting to give up. So for me, I just have found that I just veering off that question. I don't know how to answer that question. Next question, Joel.
Amazing. That's fine. I told you I was going to give you some benders. I haven't even got to the good one yet. I haven't even got to the good one. Wait till I hit you with the finisher. But okay, Bernice. So if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. You know what? Like, I think to help people to feel love within themselves, or to give love, some sort of love-giving superpower.
Sensational. That's amazing. The more personal development I do, the more I realise that's the answer. Like, and even coming from a bloke who's too cool and tough to talk about that sort of stuff, it's the truth. So
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Okay. So does anyone have a question for Bernice before I give her the one that's probably going to take her an hour to answer?
Oh God.
I'm going to go on gallery view. I'm so technically advanced. Does anyone have a question? All right. Gee, guys, you're all very timid tonight. Okay, Bernice, if you had a billboard and the entire planet could see it, what would your message be for the world?
You can be, do, have, and create whatever you want for your life, but first you must believe.
Oh, that was amazing. I need to get a that nearly knocked me off the chair. That was amazing, Bernice. Just like the rest of this call, thank you so much. I really feel like that question, if I go and get a cut off every call, is just going to be such an amazing one. I probably wouldn't put Shane's one on there though. I'm joking. His is awesome too. But Bernice, thank you so much, guys. Go wild in the chat and show Bernice so much gratitude, because she's taken amazing time out of her life, and she's like probably one of the most busy people I've ever come across. So yeah, just thank you so much. You're going to be immortalized in the mesh movement, YouTube page now. So
Yay. Well, thank you so much for everyone for jumping on, and you know, I'm really grateful and feel so honored to have been asked on tonight. And feel free to, you know, you can, if you have any questions, send them to Joel, and he can ask me, you know, or let me know, and yeah, I can. So
we're super happy for them to follow. Like everyone should be following Bernice on Facebook and Instagram. Very good person to model, and if you have any questions after that, like Bernice is an amazing help. So yeah, just reach out. Yeah, like go for it. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay, thank you so much, Joel.